If seasonal holiday depression has a soundtrack, this is it. Yep.
Welcome, robot overlords. Did I say overlords? I meant protectors.
Protectors.
To Geek Salad episode 203, Bark, the Herald Angels Sing, our geeky Christmas playlist.
Now with 33% more robots.
Yep, that's right. We're new and improved and ready for 2021. Because if 2020 were a child, it would be Caillou.
Oh, God, no.
I don't get that one.
You don't want to.
You are blessed, Mike. You are blessed not to have children because even if they know it's bad, they will still watch it.
I mean, that's fair. I feel like that about a lot of movies I watch.
Oh, okay. So, before we get into everything, like I mentioned, this is the first of two Christmas shows we're doing this year because we wanted to give you guys an extra little gift instead of just one and a piece of coal. So let's just quickly roundtable. Has anyone really done anything super Christmassy yet, other than the tree? I know we've all kind of put up our tree, or has anyone not put up their tree?
Well, not yet. We're putting up. Yeah, we're putting up our tree this weekend.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah, we'll probably buy our tree this weekend. But yeah, we're gonna have Hanukkah with my mother on Sunday, and then we're gonna go buy a Christmas tree.
That's the way to do it.
But about the most Christmassy thing we've done is that we polished off a bottle of Bacardi Coquito in 2 days.
Oh, God. Joe, I actually just went to the grocery store today and got my creme de coconut so I could make Coquito for later. Todd, how about you?
Nah, tree's up, lights are on. That's about it.
Awesome. Mike, how about you?
I've gotten a good few bits of my Christmas shopping done, but beyond that, watch some Christmas movies.
Awesome. Yep.
Just watched A Miracle on 34th Street, in fact.
Again?
Oh, I wonder why.
No.
Oh, recently.
Yes.
As ties into our YouTube channel.
Exactly.
And by the way, it kind of just occurred to me, that counts as our intros, because we didn't do them this time, because just 2020.
So who is everyone? I don't know you people.
Well, you know me. I'm Andy.
Why are you on the call? This is insecure.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Todd.
Wow, and there we are, back.
Well, I know you all now.
Yeah, we're back in Santa's good graces, too.
No longer stranger danger.
So we've been, we're doing, the traditional stuff. We've got our house decorated, lights up, Christmas tree up. And Autumn has been looking into making some more, old-timey holiday desserts. So, we've been looking at mincemeat pie recipes. And I'll tell you straight up, if I'm going to watch a video on YouTube telling me how to make a mincemeat pie, you would better have a British accent or you can just go fuck off because it doesn't sound right.
So, question. Am I finally going to get my damn figgy pudding?
Oh, well, interesting that you mentioned that, Mike, because we've watched several videos on how to make a proper British plum pudding. And our favorite was this Irish expat who's living in Canada. And I know she's living in Canada because all she's doing is complaining about the Canadian grocery stores and that it's 11:30 at night and she's still going to make this plum pudding. And she's just like, okay, fine. Here's what you do. You got raisins, and then you need some currants. And if you don't have currants, just put more fucking raisins in there. Oh, you don't have any sultans? Just put more fucking raisins in there. Oh my God, these fucking Canadian stars with their back bacon and their craft dinner. They all fucking suck. I gotta pour this good Guinness into my plum pudding. My husband can go eat a dick right now.
I will say this, Andy. I do miss the fact that we're not having any mulled wine or shortbread.
Oh, Yeah. That's like it breaks my heart too because we did make a mulled wine the other night.
I know. I saw Autumn's post.
Oh, it was so nice. But Joe and I have been watching this guy on YouTube, Greg from How to Drink.
Oh, and by the way, thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. The recipes are just amazeballs, and the Christmas recipes. So I know Mike does not drink coffee. Catherine, do you drink coffee? It's like the things I don't know about people. I've known you for 30 years, and I should know that whether or not you drink coffee. But
I drink my coffee black, and these days I drink decaf because my blood pressure. But I drink it black.
How about you, Todd? Do you drink coffee?
Just tea, thank you. Yeah, very rarely. Very rarely.
Okay, and I know Joe drinks coffee. Joe's a coffee drinker, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. And I'm like, it just mainline it. Like I have to like pour an IV every morning. But he did the Buddy the Elf's Christmas coffee.
I saw that.
And, it's brilliant because you actually do put maple syrup in it as well as bourbon. And it looks amazing. So I'm going to try that one. So he's on YouTube and check.
Well, Catherine, this is the guy I sent the link to
the
D&D game drinks.
Yep.
Because the guy's a gamer too, so.
Right. Yeah, no, I drink coffee on work days.
Oh, okay.
I don't. So it's like maple syrup and bourbon, and I'm like, nope. I only drink coffee on days I'm going to work.
Oh, come on, Catherine, live it up. Let's do this.
Okay. Well, I'm taking.
You're easily persuaded.
I do still have some maple syrup liqueur from Vermont.
Ooh.
Where did you find that? Because I have maple whiskey. And not Crown. Like I actually got like maple whiskey called like Cabin in the Woods, which should be terrifying enough. But we've been looking for maple liqueur. Did you find that locally, or did you actually have to go to Vermont for that?
No. This was in Vermont, in the town where my parents moved to. So it's way up north.
Oh.
Where? Okay, where? What town?
It's next to Cambridge. I will take a moment and go look up the name of the...
It's so far north that they have golden toques.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I lived up in Newport, Vermont, which is like right next to the Canadian border, so...
It's close. Okay, so this is from Boyden Valley Spirits in Cambridge, Vermont.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yep.
Yeah, which is like...
Take off. Cambridge, Vermont,
slightly north of Burlington. It's north.
No, Todd, it'd be a French accent.
Oh, excuse me.
How dare you?
How dare you stupid American.
Yes.
Poser.
Nope.
Yeah, but you're doing a French accent, not a French Canadian. You gotta get the Canadian in there, oi.
Hey, it's all ugly American to me, right?
Hey,
Right.
bonjour, eh?
Yeah. So we have a lot to unpack here. But before we do have a lot of social media feedback, primarily from Catherine's. But I do want to pull this one right out of our Twitter. I got a message from our friends over at the Geek Peak podcast when I was asking for favorite versions of songs. And Geek Peak had mentioned that Casey Musgrave's cover of Melehi Kimikimaka is definitely his favorite Christmas cover.
Ooh.
And then from, one moment, like pulling that up real quick because I am not that fast right now. I had at Obi_mom_Kenobi3 said, it's a tie. Hall & Oates, Jingle Bell Rock, and Bare Naked Ladies with Sarah McLachlan, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, which we will, spoiler alert, be getting into in some detail in just a few moments.
I believe that's Lisa Denon and Kurt Krause.
Yes. And then the Paul and Griff Show, which is at, where the heck are they? They are here somewhere. And God help me. Sorry. At Paul and Griff Show. Said Bublé's version of All I Want for Christmas Is You, and I concurred with I'll take any version over Miss Mariah's.
Oh, God.
Any version.
Any version.
Any. So, Catherine, you're paying attendance for your husband's foolishness. So, what did your husband write in response to our request?
Oh, he shared the Carol of the Old Ones, which is quite hilarious.
Okay.
I'm guessing it has something to do with Cthulhu.
Yes.
Of course.
And the rest.
What
Okay.
what can we expect from our resident anarchist?
That's true. That's true. Fuck it, burn it all down. I'm going to live with that Irish expat in Canada. Fucking Canadian grocery stores.
But yeah, that was one of the things I listened to all the ones I was not familiar with over dinner, and that was one of them. And I'm like, this is pretty well done.
Ah, okay. Well, we've got one here from Chris of Chris's Cultural Corner, who said, I've always loved Sleigh Ride by the Carpenters and Jingle Bell Rock by Hall & Oates. Another one there for Hall & Oates. And then he just had to correct himself because auto spell check corrected him. And we had a few others. Catherine, you actually got a lot of hits on yours, I think.
I did. It turns out that when you share Weasel Stomping Day as your introductory thing, people respond. So I got a bunch of feedback from James Federchek.
Oh yeah, that's Jonna's best friend's fiance.
Well, okay. Well, he has pretty darn good taste because he shared "Not for Christmas."
Oh, I love that song.
That one's one I'm familiar with. He shared the Despoto Sisters' Willie Claus, which I was not familiar with, and that was very interesting. But the one that really got me was Linda Bennett, An Old-Fashioned Christmas, parentheses, Daddy's Home.
Yeah.
Which was, it starts out, and it just sounds like, old-fashioned, old-timey holiday music. And around the point where my husband goes, okay, I don't understand why this is interesting or geeky, an announcer cuts in and goes, we've just heard news that there's been a traffic accident and there's been a big crash involving bus number 5. And then the song keeps going, and you get the impression that the singer knows somebody who rides bus number 5.
Oh, jeez.
And then the announcer cuts back in and is like, we have been informed there are no survivors from the accident. And it's like, and the singer comes back and is singing the song, and oh my God, my father rides that every day.
Okay.
And at the end of the song, Dad comes home and is like, I'm sorry, I missed the bus. Here are your Christmas presents.
Jesus.
Like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
What is that, the Christmas version of Cats in the Cradle? Jesus.
Jesus.
It's not very geeky, but it is definitely not something that you hear at the mall. And I thought it was great. That was the first time I'd heard that one, and that was great. And then the other one that James Federchek shared was Cheech and Chong's Santa Claus story.
Yeah.
Which I had heard before.
Lady.
Yeah, that's the palate cleanser after getting emotionally kicked in the balls.
Oh my God.
That one.
Daddy's dead.
But Daddy's not dead. Daddy's not dead. That's the thing. He comes home with the.
Autumn found one. It was an old Renaissance song about this guy who is this lord that marries a lady, and she gets trapped in a trunk, and then they find her her skeleton years later, and it's a Christmas song. And I believe they spelled time with a Y in that one.
Very different time.
Yeah. And then, all right. So also in that comment thread, because party was at Catherine's Facebook for this one. Steve Day mentions Christmas Time in Dunmore. Chris brought another one in here. Bob and Doug saying 12 Days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Love Bob and Doug, 12 Days.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
And a beer. Yeah,
Little interjection for everybody. Little interjection. I'm writing a paper for my linguistics class on Strange Brew and the Canadian English accent. And I'm doing this instead of working on that right now. It's due tomorrow. So.
Oh, geez. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to do this, so we'll make sure that you go first on stuff. So, thank you, Todd. We also have Sarah Rogers, who has, what can you get a Wookiee for Christmas when he already owns a brush? It is a comb, sorry. Yeah, I got this I don't remember how I got my hands on this album. I can't remember. I don't think it was Mike who got me a copy. It might have been my friend Brian who got me a copy of it. And
oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we're sitting there, and we're listening to it, and my wife's like, first of all, what the fuck is this? And second of all, is this part of the Star Wars Holiday Special? I'm like, no, apparently it's its own abomination.
Yeah. I think actually you mentioned it on like one of the early episodes of Geek Salad, and then one of your friends sent it to you, and we listened to it for I think the last holiday playlist, and we're like, what the fuck is this?
Oh my god!
It's so funny.
And like John Bon Jovi played on it too, which is like one of those weird things, like when he was just doing session work. Mike, did you find Jonna's stuff in that list?
I did.
Awesome. What did Jonna have to say? She's got a lot of stuff here too.
She's got ringing of the bells from the Muppets.
Ah, excellent.
That's pretty good.
She said, it's not Christmas until I hear Thurl Ravenscroft singing about the Grinch.
Oh, yeah. I had a conversation with my D&D friends from work about who sang Mr. Grinch first, and they were telling me that the guy that did some dorky thing had done a version. Like Rain, something about rain, I don't know. Okay. It's something that the kids are talking about these days.
Kids. Jesus, Catherine.
I saw this fantastic series of threads on Facebook earlier today, and it showed someone got fascinated by the idea about Thurl Ravenscroft, who also voiced Tony the Tiger, and right. Tony the Tiger having a relationship with the Grinch. And it showed Tony the Tiger ripping up a picture of those two together, saying, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch." And it showed the Grinch holding a picture of those two together and crying, saying, "You're great."
Oh God.
But John also said, she brought up, "I want a hippopotamus for Christmas."
Oh,
she said, "I always like the line about Mom says a hippo would eat me up, but then teacher says a hippo was a vegetarian." And she also said, "Mom never learned that the true danger sign is when they wiggle their ears and blow bubbles." To which I replied, "Yeah, they're vegetarians, but that doesn't mean they won't royally fuck you up."
Yeah,
that's right.
No.
They're the most dangerous animals on the savannah.
Yeah.
Not just on the savannah, on the planet. I'm pretty sure, didn't I see a statistic that hippos kill more humans than sharks every year? They are dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking...
The cover of Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch, is by Tay Zonday.
Okay.
Tay Zonday.
Whatever.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not talking from first-hand experience, but I also know that you should not pry open a hippopotamus's mouth and try to play his teeth like a xylophone.
Unless you're the king, you can do whatever you want when you're the king.
Tay Zonday did Chocolate Rain.
Oh, okay. I thought the guy's name was Chocolate Rain because, South Park.
Yeah, no. His name is Tay Zonday. He's saying Chocolate Rain. No, it's not chocolate salty balls. Completely different thing.
Mike, did John have any others?
That's all I saw. But have you seen? Did you see any others?
I think that was about it.
Those were her three. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look right quick to see if anybody else had any there. I don't think that there were. Nope.
That's it for my Facebook feedback.
Awesome. So before we kick into this list real quick, what full Christmas album can you not live without?
Catherine, I'm going to fight you for it.
You're going to fight me?
I'm going to fight you for
it. John Denver.
I'm going to fight you for it. I got it on vinyl twice. I'm going to fight you for it.
I listened to it on vinyl before you were born, so
That's true.
That's true. One man leave, two man
That's
enter,
true.
One man leave, two man enter, one man leave.
I will cede this to you. Enjoy.
Yes, my mother owned it on vinyl, and we would listen to it and make Christmas cookies before Todd was born, so it's mine.
Okay.
I also
Take that-
like it.
Take
That's
that,
all I got.
youngster. No,
You're,
that's fine.
you're allowed to like it.
You're
but
both
you
allowed to have the same pick too.
So a few years ago for Record Store Day, which happens in April, and then on Black Friday, there was a Black Friday release of the John Denver and the Muppets album on picture disc, which I hate picture discs. They're notoriously terrible sounding represses, and they have a terrible sleeve that goes with them, but I had to have it, and it was like $35, but it sounds okay, which is good. But then I found like an old beat up copy of it, and I put the picture disc in a new sleeve inside the old album cover, and it just makes me happy. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Joe, how about you?
Really, the only Christmas album that I've ever have, and that I kind of constantly play, and I'll be discussing a song from it later, but it's the Beach Boys' Christmas.
Yeah.
Great album.
That is like my go-to like Christmas album every year.
Back when they're still under Murray's sway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna do this,
back
Brian. I swear to God, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him if you don't do it. Oh, my fragile psyche.
Now, mental illness is nothing to make fun
No,
of.
it is nothing to laugh at. But damn, Murray Wilson did his
Oh, he
damnedest to make sure that Brian went over the edge.
Oh, he went over the edge.
Oh my God. So yeah, no, that's a good one. And yeah, we are gonna be talking about that in a little bit. How about you, Mike?
I don't have a particular album. I just like to have a collection of songs that I just love. Some of which I'm going to mention later. So
Of course. And though I'm going to give the obligatory Charlie Brown Christmas by Vince Guaraldi.
yeah,
Oh,
fair
that's
enough.
a good choice. That is a good choice.
That is like it just lives outside of the playlist.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All of the just like
Well,
Oh Tannenbaum. I love the version of that. I love the slow jazz of the whole thing. It makes me happy. And like I said, it's one of those things I can just listen to it straight. I don't need to have it, mixed in the playlist. And Todd,
Right.
maybe I will join you this April if we are lucky enough for Record Store Day, and maybe I could find a vinyl pressing of that, because guess who got assumed into the collective?
Who?
Oh yeah. I'm so proud.
Joe, don't laugh. You're next.
Yeah, okay.
There's plenty of Kool-Aid for everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
Wait,
gotta
wait.
Find space. I could totally do this, but I gotta find room.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna
Like-
rock like that Charlie Brown collection, like Todd always posts on Facebook, where he's just like got this little like milk crate of records, and I'm just gonna keep saying I'm very proud of my record
I'm
collection.
so proud of my record collection. Yep. It goes back and forth between that and Ben Wyatt, Human Disaster. So those are my two mindsets. Like that's where I am right now.
Nice.
Wait, I think I just thought of one.
Yeah.
I believe I need to look around and try and find it again. But I believe I once got a Dr. Demento Christmas album.
Okay.
Cool.
And I'm certain that's got like all like the classics from like that period of 1984 to 1986 when like all of the novelty Christmas songs came out at the same time. So like Bob Rivers had a career, and that idiot that Dave's grandma got run over by a reindeer got his career.
Fairly certain I Just Go Nuts on Christmas is in there as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm certain that there are going to be some songs, maybe from Catherine's list, that might also appear on there.
Yeah, probably.
We should check that out. Maybe I'll do that on Spotify on my downtime here.
Yeah.
So, let's kick off our roundtable of our favorite nerdy Christmas songs. Some are covers, some are originals, some have about as much to do with Christmas as Lethal Weapon does. But here we are. So, you know what, Todd? I'm going to let you kick this one off.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Number one on my list, it's one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time, specifically for this version. I'm a sucker for a good cover. So when I became old enough to realize the two people singing this song, it actually blew my mind. Little Drummer Boy, Peace on Earth, Bing Crosby, David Bowie, 1977. Do you really think Bing Crosby had any idea who David Bowie was?
Oh, fuck
God.
no.
When they sang this song?
Possibly. Possibly.
I bet his kids did. You know, like he was a savvy guy, but
You mean between beating his kids with sack of Valencia oranges?
yeah, exactly.
They told me, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Peace on earth, can it be? Years from now, perhaps we'll see. Our finest the day of glory. See the day living peace.
But just it's a beautiful cover of this song when they mashed up Little Drummer Boy, Peace on Earth, and it's I don't know. I wish I had seen it when it occurred, you know, back in the day. And it's magical, and it just makes me happy, which is kind of what the holidays should do for you.
Right.
I love too that the actual released version has all the dialogue in it from the Bing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, what year did you say it was? 1976.
1977.
77. So this is a year before Bing Crosby died.
Wow.
And I read it was released. You know, it was released by Bowie as a single in '82.
Right. I remember being shown on MTV like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is my favorite version of Little Drummer Boy, and it's funny because they do also throw in the Peace on Earth bit about that too. And I think a lot of people forget how good that song and the harmonies on that are fantastic.
Mm.
It plays so well together. It really does.
It does.
And it's crazy to watch because Bowie was coming off of Ziggy Stardust in like 72, 73, and then Aladdin Sane and like the Thin White Duke and all that kind of stuff. And he looks normal in this video, which he's trying to normalize his own career. Yeah,
this was Low. Low and Heroes were released in 77. So there's, Sound and Vision. So he was starting to kind of like cycle off of his cocaine for breakfast and lunch and a sensible dinner diet. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm into it. Makes me happy.
It absolutely does. It's really nice too because it's a somber song, but yeah, you're right. It just gives me good feelings.
There's a warmth to it. I like it.
Joe, how about you? Do you want to take the next one?
Sure thing. All right. So, like I mentioned, you know, my go-to Christmas album is, you know, Beach Boys' Christmas, and for my first pick, it is primarily the main song from this album. It kind of really makes the album, and it's "A Little Saint Nick" by the Beach Boys.
Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that you've all been told, and a real famous cat all dressed up in red, and he spends the whole year working out in his sled. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. Just a little bobsled we call little Saint Nick, but she'll walk a toboggan with a 4-speed stick. She's candy apple red with a ski for a wheel, and when Santa hits the gas, man, just watch her feel. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. Run, run, reindeer. You don't miss no one.
Perfection.
Now,
And I mean, for me, it's really more of a nostalgia thing, simply because when I first came to the States, you know, being the child of divorce, you know, you understand this, Handy,
Yep.
and Catherine,
And
and Mike.
and Mike, being the child of divorce, you kind of have to split your time between, a whole bunch of different households during the Christmas time.
Yeah.
Right.
And always when, because my dad is such a fan of oldies music and Beach Boys and all that kind of music, every time I'm hanging, the song brings me back to when I was a little kid, riding in my dad's truck, going to, all these different like events and family parties and stuff like that. And he's always playing the Beach Boys Christmas album, and Little Saint Nick is always the song that stood out for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a very nostalgic. Kind of takes me back when, when things were just, I didn't understand the world, but things were simple, and it's just like, oh, this is a good feeling kind of song.
Yeah.
And plus it's just a neat little song. Brian Wilson wrote it in like a day. Because they were shitting stuff out back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
it's one of their many Chuck Berry ripoffs, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I guess they recorded in October and released it like 2 or 3 weeks later.
That's so crazy. That is so crazy. I love that.
Yeah, it was recorded on October 20th, 1963, and was released as a single December 9th, 1963.
Wow.
Of course, I prefer the Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem version. It's a great song.
Catherine, that's the thing. Yeah. First of all, I knew Catherine was going to bring that up because every time I hear the Beach Boys version, I still do the run, reindeer.
Well, if you don't hear Wipeout and hear Animal yelling, wipe out, wipe out, wipe out, you're also wrong. So,
well, you know what? And I'll take Animal doing that over Mike Love any day because still, fuck that dude.
Oh, you know what? Seriously, fuck that dude because he was not a co-writer on Little Saint Nick, but he was awarded the credit because of a lawsuit.
Oh, jeez.
He is such a douchebag. I'm sorry.
What a mess.
And also, Catherine, because of you, every time I hear the 12 Days of Christmas, 5 gold rings, dun.
And you said figgy pudding earlier, and I almost went piggy pudding.
Figgy
What's
pudding.
going on?
No. Figgy pudding. It's made with figs. Oh, okay. And bacon. What?
Oh, God, I love that. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Okay, Catherine.
All right, so I went full on. I was trying to come up with some different stuff, and of course, the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler is not different stuff. I think we've all heard it a lot, but I still like it.
Yeah.
Paul Newman's half Jewish, Goldie Hawn's half too. Put them together, what a fine-looking Jew. You don't need deck the halls or jingle bell rock, 'cause you can spin a dreidel with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, both Jewish. Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah. The owner of the Seattle Supersonicas celebrates Hanukkah. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted.
Yeah.
It's the one bit of Adam Sandler they actually don't mind.
I would agree with that, Mike.
And I prefer the original to the second one. Like the second Hanukkah song by him.
Oh, right. He did a sequel to it.
He did a sequel, and it's louder and angrier, and I just like the first one.
The original is still the best.
It was it was like two. It was like every 3 years he would re-release it just so we could update the names.
Right.
Of some people, but yeah, the one that's on Everybody's Gonna Laugh at You, which is I think technically the original one because if you're not counting what he did on SNL with it.
Right.
Then that's so much fun.
It is fun and just like it's fun.
It's not too shabby. Okay.
It's just funny too because I didn't realize that both that Bowser from Shannon and Arthur Fonzarelli were both Jewish, but
or William Shatner.
William Shatner, Goldie Hawn's half Jewish. Paul Newman's half too. Put them together with a fine-looking Jew. Again, works better than like the Lenny Kravitz, Courtney Love
Yeah.
thing that they did on the second version of that.
Yeah. Although like the second one is like Bruce Springsteen isn't Jewish, but my mother thinks he is. It's fun.
Yeah. See, I like that. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the O.J. Simpson stuff got tired too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That one was funny at the time, but it doesn't age well.
It does not age well now.
No, as does most of Adam Sandler's comedy, quote unquote, finger quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right.
this one is good.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely. All right, Mike.
All right, first one on my list is I know one that many of us will agree with. The Night Santa Went Crazy by Weird Al Yankovic. He's got a couple of Christmas songs, but this one I find is much cheerfuler than the other one.
Well, the workshop is gone now. He decided to bomb it. Everywhere you'll find pieces of Cupid and Comet. And he tied up his helpers, and he held the elves hostage. And he ground up poor Rudolph into reindeer sausage. He got Dancer and Prancer with an old German Luger. And he slashed up Dasher just like Freddy Krueger. And he picked up a flamethrower, and he barbecued Blitzen. And he took a big bite and said it tastes just like chicken. The night Santa went crazy. The night Kris Kringle went nuts. Now you can't hardly walk around the North Pole without stepping in reindeer guts.
I don't know, but I it is on the album that I'm currently listening to. Speaking of digging out vinyl, like frankly, digging out my old, digging out my craft room and digging out my old stereo that has a 3 CD disc changer.
Bad hair day, yeah.
Ooh. We don't sneeze in the physical media.
No, we certainly don't.
Isn't there like a different live version with with an alternate third version?
Maybe I don't have that disc.
Because
I don't know it.
Because I know in like the version that that's on the album, the last verse has like that Santa's like walked away for like 900 years for his gruesome crimes. But I thought I could have sworn I've heard a verse one time where like Santa actually got killed.
Oh.
I don't know it.
I don't know. I got to look that one up. But
yeah, it's funny because this one feels like it was released in the earlier part of his career.
Yeah,
and it's like right. Is it Bad Hair Day? Is that the name of the album that
Yeah.
this one's on? Yeah, it's like that was the last like afroed, mustachioed Weird Al album, and it was like. It just seems like so long ago, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
the
no.
same album as Amish Paradise.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Was Bad Hair Day? Did he still have a mustache?
He did.
Yeah.
On Bad Hair Day?
Yes.
Running with
Yes,
Scissors was the first one after he had LASIK
Okay.
and let his hair grow out and shaved his mustache. And believe it or not, he's been that way for longer than he was the other version.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
yep. Yeah, I just looked it up, and an extra gory version of the song was included as a third track on the Amish Paradise single. In this version, Vixen and Donna are not mentioned, leaving their fate ambiguous. Santa is killed by a member of the SWAT team, and the elves file for unemployment benefits.
Nice.
Andy,
That's
we'll
awesome.
find that on vinyl. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Oh, Todd, our birthdays are the same day.
That's so true. That is
so
true.
geez.
Yeah, that's something we got to
Just
do.
a couple of Aries palling around. It's all good.
Pound around, with masks on, going to like used record stores. Can't wait. I can't wait. Mike, do you have anything
Just wear
else
your
about
mask,
the night,
damn it.
the night that Santa went crazy? Oh yeah.
I prefer the non-extra gory version, personally.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's apparently if you roast a reindeer, it tastes just like chicken.
It'd be a pretty gamey chicken, but okay.
Sure.
Free range.
Yeah.
Free range. Extra lean.
All right. So on my list, I'm going to kick off my first one with The Elf's Lament by Bare Naked Ladies.
To start a movement and you think you see improvement, but when thrown into the moment, we just don't seem so courageous. I make toys and I've got aspirations. Make some noise, use your imagination. Girls and boys, before you wish for what you wish for, there's a list for who's been naughty or nice, but consider the price to an elf.
It's one of their original Christmas songs on their Bare Naked for the Holidays album. And I mentioned this song on the last time we did a Christmas playlist thing way back in, I'm going to just say the 90s at this point.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And I love this song because it's just an airing of elven grievances about having to essentially work for nothing. And they're still building wooden toys, even though nobody plays with them. And it is a fun song. I love the Bare Naked for the Holidays album. I know Todd will be mentioning a song later on from the same album. But Todd, would you agree that this is a very strong song that could only come from BNL?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They had the creative freedom to do something like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think there was any other band of that era that could pull this off.
No, not at all. And it's funny, too, because I forget how well, when it was still the two singers, how well they harmonized together. It sounded great. And it was just like, you can't recapture that. Like, the current BNL is just like, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah, it doesn't quite work as well as it used to. The magic is gone. Sorry,
the magic
BNL.
is gone, just like, Steve just like, just you couldn't quit cocaine, could ya?
Hasn't been the same since Shrek.
They didn't do anything on Shrek.
It's been.
Are you?
No, I don't think 1 week showed up on Shrek. You're thinking All Star.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is
it's a different band.
Smash Mouth, which is
Yeah. You're thinking Chudmouth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With with Guy Fieri or Shaggy Two Dope, or the lead singer from Smash Mouth, because you never see all three of them in the same room together.
Okay. My mistake.
So, all right.
Yeah, Mike. One band is good. The other one is Smash Mouth. Just a little history. History for you.
Oh God. All right, Todd. Back to you, my friend. What
let's keep it rolling with the BNL. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and We Three Kings featuring Sarah McLachlan from 1996.
From God our Heavenly Father, this blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
No. You said that wrong. It's Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, excuse me, Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, so you gotta sound like you're hawking up a loogie in the middle.
Well, she's actually, Mike, she's from Canada, so it actually gets the clean pronunciation.
Not the way I say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can say anything, Mike. Go ahead. Go for it.
Go.
Sarah
This again, this came out at a time for me personally. I'm not going to tell you how old I was when this came out. You can probably guess, but they were two of my favorites at that time. I listened to Mix 98.5 with my mom in the car. Thank you, Mom. And they were two mainstays of that era, with BNL having put out Gordon and then their live album Rock Spectacle, with the live version of If I Had $1 Million, with Kraft Dinner and Haven't You Always Wanted a Monkey. Like, they have this kind of goofy, geeky swag to them that allowed them to do something like this. And, as we talked about with Elf Cement, they took, this song that you wouldn't hear on contemporary radio, and they made it something really fun to listen to. And the Sarah McLachlan part is kind of like Peace on Earth with David Bowie. It lays in nicely over the top, and the harmonies are there, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun and it's jaunty, and again, that's what I feel like Christmas should be about, or how the holidays should be about.
I heard a version of this, Todd, that they might have recorded for Canadian radio. And I don't think Sarah McLachlan was with them when they did it. But they did the song, but they entered in the third verse, the scary verse.
Mm.
Merry Christmas and Stone Cold Tombs to everyone.
Oh, jeez.
It's actually, I found it, this was back when I was downloading torrents and stuff. And I found it, I was like, this is brilliant. This is a great song. I might still have it around somewhere. If I find it, I will share it with everybody. But, I love, like you said, Todd, their geeky swagger with everything just makes their music work, especially in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the musicality to this is fantastic as well. They pull it off.
Absolutely. I love the bass riff.
Doom, 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 doom. Yep.
And it's really easy to play a guitar, too. So, anything else you got to say about that, Todd, before we move on?
I'm good.
Awesome. Joe.
All right. For my pick, it is probably the most un-Christmas song on this list, and that is Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues.
They got cars big as bars, they got rivers of gold, but the windows right through you, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome,
You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more.
Sinatra was swinging, all the junk they were singing. We kissed on a corner, then danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing, Go Away Babe, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Oh, guess who's got that on vinyl? Oh,
No way.
Shocking!
What percentage of Shane McGowan's lower jaw was left when they recorded this one?
But I mean, it's such a great song just because nothing on it really tells you it's a Christmas song. Like
Right.
the lyrics, it's profane. It's not nice in any way whatsoever. I mean, the story that they're telling is not nice. It's not a nice story. And it's a song of contradictions and stuff. And when you think that this is the most played song in the UK every Christmas time, and it's
Really?
yeah, it is. For 17 years running, it is the number one Christmas song.
Because that song that I talked about earlier, the old-fashioned Christmas, Daddy's Home, it actually reminded me of the Kinks' Father Christmas.
Which I'm shocked Joe didn't put on here.
I was I would have mentioned those, except we were focused on geeky, so I was sticking with the geekier things. But my weird Christmas playlist is very long and large.
But yeah, I mean, when you consider that the song was censored by the BBC, and every year it somehow always ends up in the charts, showing up on the charts. And
Censoring censoring it by the BBC probably drove up its popularity, frankly.
Oh yeah,
right. Well, yeah, and now, especially this year, where you're seeing a lot of radio stations not playing it because a lot of the words in it, didn't age well.
No.
Not politically correct.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like, it's very much just your traditional Pogue song. But what I think gets missed in all of this is just how wonderful Christy McCall's voice is.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because her voice is the sound of Christmas. I mean, her voice is the ghost of Christmas past. And, as a singer, I don't feel like Christy McCall ever got the credit or the recognition she ever deserved. And I mean, I have gone back. I've listened to like some of her old catalog stuff, and she is wonderful. And so, if you haven't listened to any of her solo stuff, for God's sake, go do it.
But it always still amazes me that the Pogues are an English band, considering how very, very Irish they sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have fooled me.
And they're very pro-Republican leanings.
Oh my God. Oh, Maggie Thatcher. What are you doing tonight? Would you like to go out for a pint with me? My jaw's about to fall off.
Jeez.
You're right though, Joe. I do enjoy this one, but it has remained off of most family /
Oh yeah. I don't. No,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
do not play this in front of the kids. This is for after the kids are in bed and Daddy's got his spiked nog. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna pour another pint on top of it, then put a sprig of holly on top with a cinnamon stick. Okay, so
This last thing. This on the Very Murray Christmas special, they sing this song. It's pretty good. It's worth checking out.
I keep seeing that on Netflix, and it's been like that thing's been out for like 4 years, and I still haven't watched it.
Yes, it has. It's okay. It's fine, but
I'm sure
there's a lot of talented people on there, so it's worth checking out.
Okay, Catherine, what's next up on your list?
Okay, next up on my list is a silly little tune that I learned about at my last job. It is called Santa Got Lost in Texas, and it's not the Michael Landon version I prefer.
I was riding herd one night on a Christmas Eve when I saw a spooky sight, one you'd never believe. All tuckered out and bone-tied, where Santa Claus came my way, dragging his reindeer across the prairie, hitched to a big red sleigh. Santa got lost in Texas and didn't know how to leave. Santa got lost in Texas on a Christmas Eve.
All right, I sent you the link.
Yep.
Here we go.
Found it, cut it, it's in the show. Here we go with that. So,
but yeah, it's about it's a very silly song about, Santa is like trying to deliver presents and he gets lost in Texas because it's so darn wide and high. And it's very silly, and actually, I've actually turned my husband onto it so that in our last Scion campaign, we had to help Santa get there. Like when we were traveling through Texas, we stumbled across Santa Claus, and we had to help him.
Awesome.
And it's just, it's a non-standard Christmas song, and it's very fun and light, and I like it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the spirit of what we're trying to aim for here.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else to say about that before we move on to Mike?
Not really. Like, if you haven't heard it, it's hard to explain. It's just like...
I just gave them like 40 seconds of the clip, so, I don't know what more I can tell you about it. All right, Mike, you've actually got a twofer, and I'm allowing it because they're both incredibly short songs.
Well, actually, I'm going to hit that one last.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
So, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
So, yeah, my next song I'm going to go with is Where Are You Christmas by Faith Hill.
My world is changing. I'm rearranging. Does that mean Christmas Christmas changes too. Where are you, Christmas? Do you remember the one you used to know? I'm not the same one. See what the time's done. Is that why you have let me go?
Okay.
This is actually probably the most just standard Christmas song on my list. It's from the Jim Carrey Grinch movie soundtrack.
I'm sorry, we don't recognize that movie on this podcast, Mike.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, no.
That is fair, and trust me, I would not. I actually have never seen this movie because honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Grinch in general.
Okay, well, it's deep state propaganda. That's all I'm going to say.
The most exposure I've had to it was when we were, like, last year when we were waiting to see some movie at the Littleton Theater.
It was
as a
Star
group.
Wars. We went to go see Rise of Skywalker, and
Yep.
this was on at the bar.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the most exposure I've had to the Jim Carrey Grinch, and that's more than I needed. Thank you.
Fair enough. I would not wish that upon anyone else.
Yeah.
But this song, I mean, Faith Hill, I think, has a beautiful voice. She's a wonderful country singer, married to Tim McGraw.
Mhm.
And, I mean, this song is just, it's like, it starts off like, nice and kind of quiet. She's just wondering, like, where Christmas is. And then it kind of builds it until she gets that big, powerful third verse where she realizes, Christmas is everywhere. Christmas is inside all of us.
Oh, God.
But yeah, it's a beautiful song. Like I said, she has a gorgeous voice, and I always put it on my playlist just because it's beautiful, it's inspiring, and it's just a wonderful song.
Nice.
So out of a movie that's a total turd, you do have a gem.
Okay.
You'd say it's in every one of us to
Yeah.
be kind?
Yes, exactly. To be kind and considerate and to be loving.
Humbug.
Yeah.
Some people know the song reference I was making. They might own the vinyl of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me. I just started my collection. So.
Oh, so it was you! I totally didn't get that reference.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's up to me now. So I'm gonna go with my next pick, which is Chiron Beta Prime by Jonathan Coulton.
I love this song.
This year has been a little crazy for the Andersons. You may recall we had some trouble last year. The Robot Council had us banished to an asteroid. That hasn't undermined our holiday cheer. And we know it's almost Christmas by the marks we make on the wall. That's our favorite time of year. Merry Christmas from Chiron Beta Prime, where we're working in a mine for our robot overlords. Did I say overlords? I meant protectors. Merry Christmas from Chiron Beta Prime.
I legitimately, Captain, thought you were going to take this one because I had
No.
I always have my on deck stuff because I know either you or Joe will have something, and I'm like, you know what? I have plenty here. I have my on. I have my bench. I have a very deep bench of stuff to just pull out if I need to. But thank you for letting me discuss this song because, oh my God,
Yeah.
This is one that I put on the family playlist, and it's just one of those things that always gets a little head turn when it's like, wait, what are we listening to?
I don't know. I know this. I know this is one of the ones that your family loves. First of all, second of all, my bench on Christmas fun songs is so deep that I was like, I'm gonna try to go weird, or at least different from you guys.
Fair enough.
Like, yeah. Holiday music is where I can be like, you guys, if I'm picking something you like, just tell me, and I will pick something else. Yeah.
I actually put Chiron Beta Prime on my playlist at work, my Christmas playlist at work,
Nice.
and when my coworker heard this song for the first, he's like, "Is this like a Star Trek Christmas song?" Like, no, it kind of sounds like it could be, but no, it's not.
No, it's way darker than that.
I put this on my work playlist, and my coworker Ryan, shout me out, Ryan. He was like, "This song just is awesome," and his family loves it, and that's awesome because this song is such a weird little Christmas song. We know it's Christmas by the marks we made on the wall.
The Robot Council exiled us to an asteroid.
Oh, it's such a fun little Christmas part of a song, and I'm really happy because as much of a shit show as 2020 has been, this was the year I finally stopped and listened to some Jonathan Colton, and I'm really happy about that because I really, and this is like the third or fourth podcast this year where I brought him up, and it's just been some really great stuff, and my kids adore him.
Well, welcome to the Jonathan Colton fold.
Yeah, I've just joined so many different collectives this year. So
this was a triumph. I'm making a note here, a huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction.
All right, so that's all I got on that one there. Todd, swinging back, what's your last pick?
My last pick. So I spent the last two picks talking about how joyous Christmas is and how good these songs make you feel. My last pick came out in 2013. It's a song by The Killers. They've done a Christmas song every year from, I want to say, like 2008 to 2018 or 2019. And this one's called Christmas in LA, featuring my favorite band, Dawes, Dawes. Go check them out.
I don't know if that's what this time gave me, or if it led me here. And I played so many parts, I don't know which one's really me. Don't know if I can take another Christmas in LA, another picture of sangria in an empty beach cafe, another Christmas in LA. Hold me tighter, Carmelita, I don't know how long I can stay.
And it's kind of a sad song. It's about, this kind of young guy being alone in LA on Christmas and not having, Christmas trees or anything like that. Talks about palm trees and the warmth and everything. They do talk about Harry Dean Stanton, which is kind of cool in the song. But it is my most played song every year. And it just showed up on Spotify this year, but I purchased it a while ago, and it's just one of those songs that gets me, it's very emotional for me, and it's just something that I love to hear. There's a White Christmas group sing-along at the end, which I think is pretty cool. And it's just, I don't know, it's a great song, very emotional, but also very sad, which is the reality of the holidays for a lot of people. So it's worth listening to if you haven't checked it out.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah, I got a chance to listen to a little bit of it earlier, and I really enjoyed it. I love The Killers. There's just such a unique band, and I really love that.
Yeah. So the second singer on there is Taylor Goldsmith from Dawes, who's actually married to Mandy Moore. They're expecting a child now, so they're in a different place than they were in 2013. But still, he's got a great voice. They work really well together, and it's definitely a really moving piece that they did.
Nice.
Cool. So, Joe, take us home with your last one.
All right, my last one is, and this is a song that every year I don't understand how it gets so much airtime.
Joe, I'm ashamed of you for putting this on the list.
You
Because
better
that means
not
we have
give
to
a
listen
good
to
reason
it.
for why it's on here.
And the reason I have, okay, so first off, the song is "A Wonderful Christmas Time" by Paul McCartney. the most mediocre song from the second most mediocre Beatle there is.
The word is out about the town to lift the glass. Oh, no, look down. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The choir of children sing their song. They practiced all year long. Ding dong, 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 dong, dong. The party's on, the spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. We're simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Okay. And again, a fascinating stat is that every year Paul McCartney, from royalties and licenses, makes $400,000 from this song that only gets played 1 month.
There's no,
Oh, stop, that's enough. That's enough.
there is no justice in this world, Joe. Just let
There
you
is-
know that right now.
And the reason is, and I stumbled upon this because, from a meme, is because somebody was practicing witchcraft while they were writing this song. Because if you think about it, you know,
Yeah.
if you listen to the lyrics, and it never hit me until I saw this, it's like, okay, the moon is right, the spirit's up, we hear it tonight, and that's enough. If that isn't Wiccan or Druid
Oh,
or
yeah, exactly.
hippie shit out in the middle of the forest, you know, you got naked hippies chanting around a fire, singing this shit. And then all of a sudden somebody walks in, oh, it's a wonderful Christmas time.
Okay.
Oh, that's-
Also the fact that Paul McCartney showed up to a Grammy party and the security was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
yeah. I'm Paul McCartney. I'm the charming, whimsical one.
You're
Get out of here, Ringo.
Yeah.
You're not,
not
You
even
are-
Ringo.
you are no
the-
George.
The security guy had no freaking clue who the Beatles were.
That is, Joe,
And
that's for
that's my
goddamn
day.
sure. You know what? And honestly, and it's weird because we're recording this episode on December 8th, which is today's the 40th anniversary of the assassination of John Lennon. So it's kind of weird that we're now assassinating the character of Paul McCartney. But
Because we're nothing but dark.
oh god, it's just, you know, there is a special place in hell. At least we'll have microphones, and you know,
I mean,
chips maybe.
honestly,
I just.
if you want a good Christmas song from a Beatle, get Ding Dong, Ding Dong by George Harrison.
Yeah.
What was that?
Or even what was it? Merry Christmas, War is Over.
War is over.
Happy
It's a great song.
Yep.
Great
Up
song.
until Yoko shows up, it's a great
Yes.
song until she
Yep.
decides to sully it.
I just said that to Lily the other day when we were listening to that song. I said this is one of my favorite Christmas songs until this point where Yoko shows up, and then I had to tell her all about who Yoko was, and it became a whole thing.
Jeez.
But
You know,
thanks, Joe.
I think I'd rather watch The Point. I think The Point has more Christmas spirit.
And music by Ringo Starr.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Nice.
My husband introduced me to The Point. I'd never seen it before, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
it's just amazing to me that Paul McCartney's been allowed to go on for roughly 50 years sullying the good works he did with the Beatles. And there were a couple of decent songs.
It's not all bad.
It's not all bad. I love Silly Love Songs. I
like
love
Band on the Run. Band on the Run is not bad. It's not
Maybe
bad.
I'm amazed.
Yep,
Come on.
Maybe I'm amazed. Yeah, but there's a lot of just garbage that was just like, it was just service to let his wife show off her awful singing and her awful keyboard skills. Because there's that point in the middle that is nothing but like synthesizer bukkake. Like halfway through this, it's like, where did this song go? Paul, bring this one back. The moon is right. Satan's awake.
I still can't forgive him for Live and Let Die.
I actually like Live and Let Die.
I disagree.
There's so many. Well, I mean, it's weird because it didn't feel so. It doesn't feel so much like a Bond song anymore. But there's some good points that not my favorite by any means, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
when I saw him at Fenway and he played that song, it made me feel something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
When I listen to it, I usually feel something too, and then I have to go vomit.
Okay. But
Right.
yeah, no.
Moving on from the.
Moving on. So yeah.
From the Beatles drama.
Well, yes, from Wonderful Christmas Time to Mike. What's your last song? Actually, no, it's Catherine's turn. Sorry, it's Catherine's turn. My bad.
All right. So my last song that I want to bring up is The 12 Gifts of Christmas by Alan Sherman, which is a delightful, silly song.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
A simulated alligator wallet.
a calendar book with the name of my insurance man, green polka dot pajamas, and a Japanese transistor radio.
And it comes in a leatherette case with holes in it so you could listen right through the case.
On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
A statue of a naked lady with a clock where her stomach ought to be.
a simulated alligator watch, a calendar book with the name of my insurance man, green polka dot pajamas, and a Japanese transistor radio.
And it has a wire with a thing on one end that you could stick in your ear and a thing on the other end that you can't stick anywhere because it's bent.
On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
A hammered aluminum nutcracker and all that other stuff.
and a Japanese transistor radio.
It's been over 40 years since I heard this song, Catherine, and it came right back to me the second I listened to it. Thank you.
And yeah, there are like a gazillion versions of 12 Days of Christmas, and this is one of my favorites. I'm not picking the Bob Rivers. The Bob Rivers is fun, but this one is better.
Right.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a Japanese transistor radio.
I actually looked. I did find, because I texted it to all you guys, Spotify does have a playlist that is the Dr. Demento Christmas album. This is like the third track on there.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I did find the playlist on it of what the songs are on that album actually.
Yeah, there's quite a bit on here. I mean, you got the Chipmunk song, which is funny when you play it in like 33 1/3 speed.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth. I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Nothing for Christmas. A Christmas Carol by Tom Lehrer.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about Tom Lehrer. He's also got some great Christmas and Hanukkah music. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica.
We got Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I Just Go Nuts at Christmas. 12 Days of Christmas by Bob and Doug McKenzie. Green Christmas by Stan Freberg. I'm a Christmas Tree, duet with Dr. Demento by Wildman Fisher. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus by Kip Adoda. Santa Claus and His Old Lady by Cheech and Chong. Christmas at Ground Zero by Weird Al Yankovic. And Christmas Dragnet by Stan Freberg.
Nice. Yeah, well, it's on that playlist, so which I sent to you. So,
Good songs. Good songs.
Yeah. No, Catherine, thank you so much for reintroducing me to this one. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. Remembering how much Alan Sherman is awesome outside of Hello Mudda Hello Fada is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Hello Mudda Hello Fada.
But he still has.
I mean, it's a great song, but
aside.
it's just scratching the surface of his excellence.
Yeah.
Some of the asides that he had about like the naked lady with the clock where his stomach should be, and
Yes. Oh yeah. It's so funny. And it's like, why doesn't this get more airplay? Oh, right, that's why. Yeah, okay.
Well, because you got to listen to All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey 50,000 times this year.
Ugh.
So it was.
So I had my last hairdo on yesterday. The last hairdo I will have until spring, and the radio was tuned to like some Worcester station that was just playing nothing but Christmas music, and then it like crapped out, and I'm like, gosh darn.
Oh damn!
So Catherine, you probably got whammed then, didn't you? Last Christmas,
yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
I haven't been whammed yet this year yet, which is good.
Yeah, we did get whammed. Yeah, my husband came with me so he could get his haircut too, and yes, he was there too. We've been whammed.
Wham.
Every time I listen to Mariah Carey, I think I have tinnitus.
Oh my god! I know the Paul and Griff show brought up that there was they like the Bublé version of that song. Is there a version of All I Want for Christmas Is You that anyone likes?
There
I
might
like
be a
the Olivia
whack
Olsen version. I like the Olivia Olsen version from Love Actually,
Okay.
which is performed by like a 13-year-old child, and I think that's that version is superior.
I'd have to look up to see what other versions there are.
I won't contradict that. I'm sure I would take the 13-year-old version over Mariah.
It's quite good, but not available anywhere, which kind of stinks.
Well, and if you're going to go with anything from Love Actually, it has to be Christmas is All Around.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
of course. Oh my god, we just watched that again. This is like our annual viewing of it, and what a find Bill Nye was.
Mm.
It's just like that's the movie that initially made him, and it's like wow. So, but maybe we'll talk about that one in another week or so. Spoiler, maybe.
Really, Dolly Parton has done a version of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure her version.
We'll have to try that then.
She is like the patron saint of humanity this year.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my god. Seriously, we're wrapping up this awful year, and it's like, well, at least we get Dolly Parton. You know, everyone now knows what a gem of a human being Dolly Parton is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh man, I'll forgive her for the Dixie Stampede now. So, Catherine, anything else to say about 12 Gifts of Christmas before we move on?
I think it stands on its own feet. It's awesome.
Yes, definitely check it out. It's on Spotify, as we just determined. So, Mike, close this out with your list. Or actually, I'll close this out, but close out your list.
All right, now for the twofer that Andy mentioned earlier.
Yep, dummy.
Yeah, from Mystery Science Theater 3000, we have a Patrick Swayze Christmas and Merry Christmas If That's Okay.
Open up your heart and let the Patrick Swayze Christmas in.
We'll gather at the Roadhouse with our next of kin.
And Santa can be our regular Saturday night thing.
We'll decorate a bar stool and gather round and sing.
So sit around the fire and have a chestnut roast, or raise a glass in toast to Happy Days Donny Most.
But if you prefer to eat Indian food on Christmas Day, I can only shrug my shoulders and say namaste, namaste.
Personally, I prefer turkey, gravy, and salad. But let's never forget, all cultures are valid.
I mean, Merry Christmas, If That's Okay, is actually a strangely prescient song, considering it was written like in the early 90s. It's still, it actually is more impactful today.
So who's in that one?
That one's Mike,
Mike
Tom, and Servo.
Yeah.
Mike,
Okay.
Tom, and Crow.
They did two in their initial run, like in their initial Comedy Central / Sci-Fi Channel run. They only did 2 Christmas movies, and both of these songs show up in there.
Right. Patrick Swayze Christmas came on Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and Merry Christmas, If That's Okay, it was on Santa Claus, the Mexican
AKA
kids movie.
Mexican Santa.
Yeah. And Patrick Swayze Christmas is definitely the more popular one because it is the only Christmas song that I know of that has an action scene in it. I have to smash your kneecaps if you bastards touch my car.
I got the word that Santa has been stealing from the till. I think that fabric dolly had better make out his will. Whoa!
Oh dear.
And then there's Merry Christmas, If That's Okay, and it's basically about all cultures are valid. You may not believe in Christmas, but let's all just get along for once. I mean, maybe you just worship a guy whose name is Greg.
And maybe don't shit on Happy Holidays.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Let's just raise a glass and toast to Happy Days, Donnie Most.
Oh, back in my retail days, which is almost a year past now, thank God. Thank you. I wasn't fishing for applause, but I do appreciate them.
Well, you're welcome for not asking you my question on Black Friday. You're welcome.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. But it was always funny whenever I would say Merry Christmas to a customer, just because they kind of they checked all the boxes and they said, I'm buying Christmas presents. Their face when I wished them a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, it's like, wait, what am I going to complain about now?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I gotta take this out of the barista at Starbucks now. God damn you. So, Mike, anything else about these 2 MST classics?
Definitely, if you've never heard them, they're both on YouTube. Watch the full clips because, I've seen a version of Patrick Swayze Christmas where it cuts off the stinger at the end where. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts because Crow, he wrote the song and he's like, so how long before comes standard? And Joel drags him off. And Tom's like, we'll be right back. Save a leg for me.
Oh, God. It's awesome. Especially now that my kids are into MST.
Nice.
It's back and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, both these movies are... Just watch the whole movies because they're both phenomenal. I am a little bit more partial to the Mexican kids movie Santa Claus because... It's Santa Claus versus a devil, and he lives in the clouds. And his reindeer are wind-up toys that laugh and are really incredibly creepy.
Right, but he's also got Merlin and God to help him out with stuff.
Yes, yeah. So he's got that in his corner, which is nice.
Oh my God, and there's literally the first 15 minutes. The second they enter the you do the run down the tunnel.
Yeah.
And they sit down and they show the credits, and then it's 15 minutes up until the commercial break of Santa Claus playing the organ while all these children of the world are singing songs, and it quite honestly is some of the most offensive shit I have seen.
Oh, when it gets to the kids from Africa.
Oh, and they were the first ones. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
That can't possibly be a bone in that kid's nose. Oh, it is. No.
Okay, this was offensive in the 1800s.
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't.
I'll tell you, little lad, we're going to Swaziland next, and stop it.
Oh, God.
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, don't make me read the original Curious George. Ow.
My biggest question about that isn't about, how we got a monkey to smoke a pipe, but why in the hell was there a balloon salesman standing outside of a prison? Todd, Lily is young enough. Lily is young enough that you probably still remember reading her Curious George.
Of course.
Okay. Did that ever stand out to you that there is literally a balloon salesman outside of a fucking prison?
Yeah. No, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
You get out of prison, you get a balloon.
There you go.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Co-workers with children now, and they're 1s and 2s and 3s, and they're like, Curious George and Babar don't age really well.
Not
really.
at all. And that was all word, period, capital letter, next word. That's how bad that aged.
Yeah.
All right. So let's close out this conversation with my last song, I Won't Be Home for Christmas by Blink-182.
So I stand with a dead smile on my face, wondering how much of my time they'll waste. Oh God, I hate these Satan's helpers. And then I guess I must have snapped, because I grabbed the baseball bat and made them all run for shelter. It's Christmas time again. It's time to be nice to the people you can't stand. All year I'm growing tired of all this Christmas cheer. You people scare me. Please stay away from my home. If you want to get me down, just leave the presents and then leave me alone.
Which is pretty much, if you're not a fan, or if you're a fan of Christmas but you're not a fan of people, it actually is a really, really fun song. And I've always kind of had a soft spot for Blink-182. And one of the guys I did a show with last year, Francis, had this on his punk rock Christmas playlist. And I listened to it again. And I'm like, I dig this song. And it's just like the standard Blink-182 3-chord, pseudo pop punk. But just about, how much he hates carolers, and he hates the feeling for the season, but it's still got a lot of like festive cheer to it, which is interesting. And reminds me of the question somebody had about those Hallmark movies, where it's like, why is it that someone has to have a reason for hating Christmas in these movies? Why can't they just not legitimately like it?
That seems valid.
Why does something traumatic have to happen to them in order for them to hate Christmas? Can't you just be antisocial and like it?
Is that immoral?
You're not allowed to not like Christmas. But again, it's one of these songs that I have to keep off the the work playlist, because there is a scene where our narrator vandalizes something, gets thrown in jail, and then a big guy in prison named Bubba unwraps his package. So we got that off there.
That's an issue.
Totally. NSW.
Thanks,
NSFW, because damn. But still, if you like Blink-182, it's a fun song.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely check that one out too, because I gave everybody here a sampling of all these little songs on our thing. And these are all available on YouTube and Spotify and whatnot. So wherever you get your music, you can find them. And who knows, maybe even in April, you can go on Record Store Day and buy this stuff. Right, Todd?
Mm-hmm. That's true. Maybe not the Christmas jams, but, you'll get some other good stuff.
Now, does anybody have any honorable mentions they want to mention real quick before we close out?
Well, Mike did mention Christmas at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
And I also mentioned Yes, Go Nuts at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I threw on a few Straight No Chasers, 12 Days of Christmas, which is really fun. The Dropkick Murphys have The Seasons Upon Us, also fun. And then another album is Dark Christmas by Abney Park.
Okay, cool.
Can I do an honorable mention for a song I hate?
Sure.
Dominic the Donkey. Get that shit out of here.
You go straight to hell with that, sir.
Never again. I also don't really like pentatonics. That's just me. Something about it.
You're allowed to
Too
not
polished.
like pentatonics. You're allowed to be sick of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Okay. Mannheim Steamroller? Where do we fall on Mannheim Steamroller?
We get crushed under it.
Yeah, I can't totally hate on Dominic the Christmas Donkey, but that's because I wasn't overexposed to it, and a buddy of mine at one job was the one that taught me about that song, and I was like, okay, this is fun. But like, yeah, I can totally understand if you've heard it too many times, you could be sick of Dominic.
Oh, yeah. It's like the Christmas shoes. I can never listen to the Christmas shoes, and it's because Patton Oswalt did a brilliant bit about the Christmas shoes, which is also on YouTube, which you should check out. But yeah, Todd, I'm with you on Pentatonics, because Pentatonics is like the Walmart of acapella groups.
Yeah, Straight No Chaser is also acapella, but it's college, so it's.
But Straight No Chaser has some substance to them, some, I don't know, personality. Pentatonics is just look what we can do, and you're gonna love it.
Oh, and the dog agrees too. All right, now Joe, I'm amazed because I had to put this in my honorable mentions. I'm amazed you actually didn't bring up Father Christmas by the Kinks.
Yeah. No, Catherine mentioned it earlier.
Right.
And it's also not geeky, it's dark.
It is dark. I agree with Catherine.
Oh, yeah, it's dark.
Because we were supposed to be focusing on dark, not, things that they don't play on the retail playlist.
Right, exactly. Like South Park's The Lonely Jew on Christmas. That is an album. I don't know. I'm going on Spotify right now to see the Mr. Hanky's Christmas album. I bought that. I bought it when it first came out in 1999 because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And
it was 99, and you were a young person.
I was a young dummy. Yep. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm going to follow that right now. Yep, Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh. Merry fucking Christmas. Cartman singing Oh Holy Night. Carol Bells, Lonely
Watch
Christmas.
the original before they actually had a TV show, South Park.
Oh, God.
Santa versus Jesus.
Oh, Tannenbaum in the style of Adolf Hitler. Christmas Time in Hell. Swiss Colony Beef Log. Oh, dang. Fucking hate ignites the most offensive song ever. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is... Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you for now prompting me to go on there, because I'm going to be in late 20s Andy heaven right now, so... Yes.
I do have an honorable mention I just thought of.
Yeah.
Snoopy's Christmas by the Royal Guardsmen.
Snoopy's Christmas?
Yeah, it's like I want to say the third or the fourth one of their Snoopy versus the Red Baron series of songs. Okay. And I remember hearing this one on record actually when I was a little kid growing up, and it's basically Snoopy versus the Red Baron, but it takes place during the Christmas truce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't that called Snoopy and the Red Baron? Christmas bells, those Christmas bells. That one?
Well, that's the chorus, but I think it's actually the song is just called Snoopy's Christmas. Okay. But yeah, it's Christmas bells, those Christmas. Yeah. I actually really love the chorus. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's from Snoopy the Musical, actually, which is the lesser-known other Charlie Brown musical.
Oh. Because, the Royal Guardsmen, they made, Snoopy versus the Red Baron, and then Return of the Red Baron. And I believe they also have a song called Snoopy for President. And then they have Snoopy's Christmas.
Ah. Cool. So anyone else have any other honorable mentions they want to say before we move on to what our next episode's going to be?
Nope.
Nah.
All right, well... I want to thank everybody who took the time to reply to us on this. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
I hope that we're kicking off your Christmas season with some nerdly joy. And now it's not over. Normally, if we were recording our Christmas episode on December 8th, that's it. We'll see you in the new year. No, there is a second episode, and it's going to be released before Christmas. I don't know how the hell we're going to do this, but it's going to happen. We are going to talk about the 12 Christmas films of Christmas, and we need your help to do it. We want you to send us your 10 favorite Christmas movies. But here are the caveats. Okay, first of all, anything that takes place at Christmas and is Christmas themed counts as a Christmas movie, which means that Die Hard counts as a Christmas movie. Batman Returns, Gremlins, these count as Christmas movies.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
Anything Shane Black did.
Yeah, pretty much. If you see Shane, if you just do an IMDb search for Shane Black, you could pretty much put anything in there except for his acting gig in Predator. And even still, that could have very well taken place at Christmas for all we know. It also has to be theatrically released. So while it might be a TV movie, it still needed to have seen a theatrical release. Your best indicator for that is, was it nominated for an Oscar? Because I've already talked to somebody about this, and yes, the movie Klaus, which was a Netflix original movie, actually did get a theatrical release, which qualified it for Best Animated Feature Oscar.
And Mickey's Christmas Carol
Christmas Carol also counts.
Yes.
So
it was nominated for an Oscar.
There's a lot of leeway with this, and I will just scuttle it if it's not. But yes, we are looking forward to talking about the 12 films of Christmas. I've got my list; it's already up. I know I'm going to be getting it from everybody else, and I've already petitioned several of our friends on Twitter rather to help us with this. So we'll be asking for more help in just a little bit. So please, if you've got a list that you want to send us, it's 10 movies, send it to geeksaladradio@gmail.com. Or just look out for the post that we're going to put on our Twitter feed, which is @GeekSaladRadio, and on Facebook @GeekSaladPodcast. So if you like what you heard, please check us out wherever you get your podcast, just like where you found us right now. We also host a YouTube channel, Geek Salad Podcast, where we do movie reviews. We just reviewed Miracle on 34th Street and Home Alone, and we're looking forward to, hopefully, with some extra involvement from some folks in our studio right now, like Catherine, talking about Muppet Christmas Carol. So,
it's the American way.
It is the British way.
Sam, take it.
It is the British way. So we are so looking forward to that. So anybody else got any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Nope.
Nah, dog.
I'm good.
I will take your silence. I will take your silence as Todd's got to get back to his paper.
That's very true.
Yeah, exactly. So, Todd, thanks again for joining us, man. Thank you for making the time to come out. Always love having you here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
So, and until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Todd.
Go forth. Be nerdful. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. And we'll talk to you later.
Crazy Kwanzaa.
Bye. Money, please.
I'm here to eat candy canes and kick ass, and I'm all out of candy canes. Ha ha, come on.